All right, so now they are not going to restrict it for us. It's not a one-to-one function. We can look at the function. It's a parabola. We know it's been shifted. We can talk about that. So the picture looks like it's a parabola that's shifted 2 to the right and 3 down. So the vertex is going to be there, and the parabola is looking, something like that. So that's a picture of it. And we only get to have half of the parabola, right? Because we're restricting it so that it'll be 1 to 1. And then we can find the inverse. Okay. So you have to make a decision, which half am I going to use? Am I going to use the right half or the left half? I'm going to use the right half. A lot of times they will use the right side of the parabola and not the left. It's not wrong to use the left unless they specifically say something. But usually it's just a little bit easier to keep things on the positive side. Okay, so what does that mean then to restrict that domain? Well, it means that, your vertex here was at 2, -3. And we're talking about restricting the x values. So we want x values going this way, something greater than 2. We're going to restrict it to say x is greater than or equal to 2. And then that gives us this half of the parabola, and then we'll be able to find the inverse. Okay, a note that they mention is our function that they gave us was in vertex form where, you could find the vertex by looking at it. If you didn't have that, you'd have to find the vertex, like if it were in general form, you'd have to find the vertex first, okay? But there we go. So the inverse, we'll write it as y equals x minus 2 squared minus 3. We're going to switch the x and y. And now I'm going to say that the y has to be greater than or equal to, oops, not 0, greater than or equal to 2. Okay. So I'm going to solve this for y. I'm going to add the 3. I'm going to scroll up. Take the square root of both sides. So I have the plus or minus the square root of x plus 3 equals y minus 2. And then I'm going to add the 2 over. Now I need to make sure that y is greater than or equal to 2. So in this case I'm going to use the positive case. I'll use the positive case. And I'll rewrite this as f inverse of x equals the square root of x plus 3 plus 2. Oh, I forgot the restriction. We put the restriction in. Okay. Well, the restriction. Yeah, we restricted it when we put the positive, oops, when we put the positive case, when we took that one. And so that restricted it so we would be in line with the right half of the parabola. But there is a restriction on the domain here. I would write it, you don't have to, but it's the square root of x plus 3. So we know x has to be greater than or equal to -3. I don't think the book expects you to write that restriction because it's understood, because we know it's a square root function. But I would write it. Okay, that's that one.